Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, we've had a little bit of news regarding the Friday the 13th movie. Now, we've been hearing about the prequel series for a while, which Brian Phil is doing, and people seem to be excited about that. I hear that they're promising us different versions of Jason, so maybe we'll have the first season or so will be Pamela, young Pamela, and then we'll see young Jason, then we'll see maybe after Pamela dies, Jason, so we may get different versions of Jason. So that's interesting, but we've been hearing that that Sean's going to do a new film, but we didn't really get a quote until just recently. Apparently there is a writer called Jeff Locker and a director called Jeremy Weiss, and the writer said, obviously the prequel series has reignited interest about a new film, so we're hoping the surrounding excitement will inspire both sides to come together and give us Jason on the big screen again for the first time in 14 years, which sounds like they haven't actually worked out the rights or paying, and so forth. Because right after that he says, but we also have a plan B for a sequel, a direct sequel, I'm assuming, to the original. We think fans will absolutely love and should avoid any legal entanglements. So sounds like it, they don't have an agreement yet, but I think it was all about money, and once they established the legalities, I'm guessing both sides decided to give each complete access to their individual rights, so they could both make a proper Friday the 13th series and a proper Friday the 13th movie, so the fans don't suffer, because they could both hold back their copyright property parts, whatever. I don't know how to explain it. They could both say, no, you can't use Jason's name, or no, you can't use this likeness, or whatever, and sort of hurt the other. But they're just going to hurt each other. So I think in order for both of them to get exactly what they want and get full use of Jason on Friday the 13th, they both have to give each other, the ability to use each other's, and as long as they pay each other, I think they're both happy. That seems to be what's happening between the series and the movies. But if Sean doesn't get an agreement from Victor Miller, because Victor Miller was sort of the victim in all this with the rights, where he tried to get the character back, and Sean was defending it because that's the only thing Sean's got is Jason. The only thing he's ever had is Jason, and he didn't create Jason, and he hated Jason. We all know the story about Jason Goes to Hell, which is 30 years old this year, actually. But he hated Jason. He wanted Jason out of the movies. He literally said to the writer-director, allegedly, get that damn hockey mask out of the film. Out of the film. I was going to say movie and then change into film and turn into film. But I never realised, and I started watching a lot of the documentaries and interviews with Sean, and I realised, he never liked this show, he hated this show. He always wanted to be a legitimate, director, and instead he sort of made this little slasher movie which made $1 billion, and he just sort of rode that, and it allowed him to do some things, but it stopped him doing other things. So he's always resented Jason on some level, while Jason paid for his kids' college. So, he's a bit of from what I can tell, it seems like a nice person to work with, although, actually, if you listen to Adam Marcus, I think that's the name of the director, there were some issues. So, and a lot of people are happy that he lost Jason, because he didn't create him, didn't appreciate him, didn't utilise him. I mean, he sent him into space, and he gave a year in that movie that Jason was locked in that research facility or whatever, that he then goes from there to space. So we know from, I'm not going to say the year because I don't want to validate it, but from a certain year he was put away. Eventually he got frozen into the future. So we know from a certain year, like, Jason's fictional life, like, basically ended, and we stopped having him running around so you can't sort of imagine that Jason's real and still out there, because we know that so-and-so year is away. So he did his best to kill Jason on several occasions, and then he started crying because he wanted to have the rights, because of course he wanted the money. So we're glad Victor won. We're glad Victor is working with other people. But I think they've got a gentleman's agreement to allow each other to use the full rights, and they just agree to pay each other, and legally they have to. So I think we'll get a proper Jason film and a proper Jason TV show. But I keep combining words. They may both start being a-holes and just stop the other from using the full rights, and the fans get, ripped off in the middle. So it'll be interesting to see how both these projects go in the end. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.